Hey sister, this is Dr. Karen Osborne. Listen, I'm going to talk to you for 30 seconds before this episode begins about my next Women Wanting More live event. This is 2.5 days of women just like you being pushed physically, mentally, emotionally, getting really clear on what they want, knowing why it matters, and leave with the tools to actually put that into action and being part of a sisterhood. So if this is something that really, really resonates within your heart, sister, I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com, click on the Work With Me button, and we can start the application process. I look forward to hearing from you. Here's that episode.
Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So, sister, I'm going to encourage you to not be so afraid of losing. So I'm reading this book right now, which is called The Originals, How Nonconformists Move the World by Adam Grant. And he talks about that people that have made significant impacts in the world, everywhere from Shakespeare to Beethoven to Steve Jobs to Einstein, is that people take a look at individuals such as these four I just mentioned and think, well, they have like a special gift. They are geniuses. They, have produced this work which people are talking about, decades, hundreds of years after they've passed away. Like they made a significant impact, as Steve Jobs used to say, a dent in the universe. And that could very well be true. But what Adam Grant has actually found in his research is that it isn't necessarily that these people have some kind of secret gift, that they somehow have all the answers, or they have some kind of special talent that they are able to express in the art and the gifts that they brought to the world, but that they simply executed more. They simply had more ideas. They simply did more. They took action. He gives the example of Shakespeare. Shakespeare is, of course, well-known Shakespeare, but he wrote something like, I think the numbers in the book was like 65 plays. Okay? Only really well-known for about 5 or so of them, and there's a handful that there's considered that critics don't really think that was good work that he did, and then all these other plays which no one even knows what they are. No one remembers them. But yet, we all look at Shakespeare. We've all studied Shakespeare if you've gone to school, and is considered classic with the work that he did. And again, why is that? Simply because he took action more in his life. So how does this relate to you? Like, oh my God, Shakespeare, a million years ago, right? How does this relate to me? I'm not one of these people. This makes no sense, Karen. Well, let's take a look at this. So I have people that take a look at my marriage. And my husband Ed and I have been together for 16 years now, together for almost 24. And we've put a significant amount of work into our marriage, particularly the last year and a half. Okay, close to 2 years now. And we'll take a look at our marriage and be like, wow, you guys, like, you just seem like so in sync and so together. And believe me, we have our days of fights probably every single day. There's something that's going to come up that we are honest about, we're real about, we deal with, we move on, right? We've got 2 crazy little dudes, 3 and 6, our 2 boys, who are just coming off the weekend and had like very challenging days with the boys. And so shit still comes up in our marriage for sure, but they take a look at our marriage and think that, somehow we won the lotteries with each other. Somehow we're lucky. Somehow these conversations that we've had, these difficult conversations, these challenging times in our life, that, we're meant to be together. There's destiny or that kind of thing. And that's why we have the marriage that we have. And really what it comes down to is when it comes to say like difficult conversations and being honest and real, we've just simply done it a lot. We've been okay with having those difficult conversations And the more that we have, the better that we've gotten. And the more times that we got real and honest, the more times that we had breakthroughs. And we've certainly had fights and disagreements and times that we've gone to war where it didn't end in a good place. Like it didn't. But times where it's like it's name calling, it's not so great, and it's like, okay, that's not particularly the outcome that I wanted to see happen from that. But then there's times, sister, where we hold each other accountable because we love each other, because it's an agreement that we've made within our marriage, because we're real with each other, that something amazing comes out on the other end of that. That a realization, an agreement, a truth that maybe one of us was really like not being fully honest about. And it brings us to that next level within our marriage. It brings us to a greater depth of connection, a greater experience of love with one another. Simply because we're willing to have the difficult conversations. And not just when it's convenient, and not just when it's like, okay, I think I know how to do this now. Okay, now we have this chunk of time. Like somehow all the planets are aligned and the kids are in bed and we have this big chunk of time and, oh, let's sit down and have this conversation. No. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Jesus, when I take a look at my experience here in the online world over the last 4.5 years, I've put out a lot of content that I look back now and I'm like, oh God, fuck. Where I'm not so happy with it, right? Even now with stuff that I put out, I'll do a Facebook Live and I'll go, psh, that wasn't my best work, right? But I am not afraid to lose. I am not afraid to look stupid. I'm not afraid to put myself out there because I know that there's one particular podcast episode that'll be incredible. I know there's one Facebook Live that'll be amazing. I know there's one conversation I have or several with women that are going to be so incredible. And there'll be some that I have that just aren't great. These are women that we have conversations just to kind of, can't be women that I know, just to kind of like, connect in and see. And there's some I've reached out to that I just kind of feel like, I've known this person for a while, or maybe they've coached with me before, or we've connected online several times. They've emailed me, we've Facebook messaged, and just something says to me to reach out. Almost always the voice has like been correct in that. I had someone ask me today if I'm clairvoyant. And it's like, nope, simply listen to the voice, right? And there'll be some women who actually apply to coach with me. Some I just kind of feel like, you know what? I feel like with the work that I do, I can really help them, and I actually reach out to them. And some of those conversations are incredible, and some are not. I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to not have things work out. Because I know that the more that I take action, I know that the more that I execute, I know the more that I do and take action on the things I want within my life, the more times I'm, as Gary Vaynerchuk would say, the more at-bats that I have, the greater chance I'm going to win. The greater chance I'm going to now do the things that move me towards what I want. And it allows me time to get better and better and better at what I do. Better and better at my marriage. Better and better as a parent. Better and better as in my workouts. Listen, if you think, sister, that everything has to be perfect in order for you to take action, that somehow you have to, know all the information, know all the different steps, that you don't actually do anything until you feel like you have all the answers together, you will miss so many fucking opportunities because you're so afraid of losing. You're so afraid of failing. You're so afraid of looking stupid or like you don't have it all together. And that's cool. If you want to delay stuff, like honestly, this is your life, sister. It's not me. This is simply a conversation I'm having with you. This is simply a way of letting you know, like, this is what's worked for me. And if what you're doing right now in your life works for you, awesome. But I know right now there's a lot of you, and you may be one of them, that keeps delaying and procrastinating and waiting and thinking, well, before I have the difficult conversation with my husband, before I'm really honest and real, before I, talk to that client and make those agreements, before I make a commitment about my health, I have to have everything all together. And it doesn't fucking work that way, sister. It doesn't work that way. You don't know everything. You will never know all the answers. And yes, a lot of information is going to be revealed to you. The next step, the how, once you begin to take action. Once you begin to take action. So when Ed and I started to dive deep into conversations that got really real in our marriage, it'd kind of be like, okay, let's, we just kind of tried this style of communication. I'm like, okay, so me being in Ed's face and like, you should do this and you should do that and blah, 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 does not work for him. Took me a while to figure that one out. I still might kind of go back there at times. But that doesn't work. But guess what? It helped me see a way of, okay, well, this doesn't work. Let me try something different. Let me try a different approach. Let me talk less and listen more. Let me just try different things. You cannot be so afraid of losing, of falling on your ass, of appearing stupid. If you want more within your life, sister, you will have to do more. You will have to take more action. You will have to do more, execute more. This is how it works. This is how you get better at things. It ain't by reading a book. So by the way, I'm not even going to mention this book again that I just referenced earlier because I don't even want you to fucking read it. It's not about the book. It's about you taking action. You were ready. You've always been ready. Just fucking do it. So here's your more tip for today. What is the thing in your life that you've been stalling on taking action? Maybe it's, as I mentioned in the podcast, maybe it's having an honest conversation with your husband or wife, because a lot of men listen to the podcast now too. Maybe it's taking action on your health. I've seen a few posts from people within this month saying like, yeah, I'm going to do like this in the beginning of January. Yeah, once Christmas is over. It's like, what the hell, man? There's 3 weeks left in December. Why not today? Now. Maybe it's something within your business. Like, what is the one thing that you're delaying taking action on? And here's the second step. Once you've identified as to what that is, what is one action step you can take today, that actually moves you towards executing on that thing that you want to do? What is that one step? And do it today, sister. Today. So here's what I want you to execute on right now. I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com/live event. You're going to get a chance to watch the Women Wanting More live experience, live event movie, what I'm now calling the More Experience. 7 minutes, 6 amazing women and their journey through 2.5 days with me in Victoria, BC, Canada. And at the other end, got so clear on what they wanted in all areas of their life. Marriage, kids, business, purpose, health. They got really clear on why it mattered, and they left with a plan, steps, real practical map on how to get those things they wanted within their life. So when you get to drkarenosborne.com/live event, you're going to enter your name and email. You get immediate access to watch the movie. And then you're going to see interviews with 5 of the 6 women. And like how this is still affecting their life 4 to 6 weeks later. Right? It's one thing to actually be in an event like this, like away from husband and kids and work and be really immersed in all the distractions removed. Like again, like I mentioned earlier, all the conditions are ideal. They're perfect, right? Nothing can kind of get in the way. But how about when you go back to real life, right? So you're going to see the interviews with them and how the results that they experience, those results of power, are still there with them 4 to 6 plus weeks later. And then you'll have an opportunity, if this is really calling at your heart, If you are watching this and seeing these women, you're like, I need to be at this next live event. I want what they've experienced. I want to connect with Karen face to face. See, the live event is a style of coaching where it is like getting the results you want on like steroids. Okay, because it's 2.5 days. My live event that I had recently, you're going to see with that movie, the results that I experienced with those women would normally take 90 days. A 3-month group program. In 2.5 days, it's a way to get those results fast. So the next live event is coming up in January 2017. You will have a chance to apply for the next live event. Just by application. There'll be a button you can click on saying, I want to apply. You're going to fill out an application. It'll take 10 minutes. And then we will get on the phone, have a conversation, and really see if you're a fit. So that's at drkarenosborn.com/live event. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. Just remember, a life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.